Greetings. I'm going to talk to you about something that is very difficult for me to talk about, but I need to get it off my chest. I'm not blaming anybody for anything except for a surgeon in the late 90s that butchered a hernia operation. And that's where I believe everything started. But here's the deal. What I'm about to describe to you can be kind of graphic. And it's an issue that's caused me many problems for the last 20 years. And it's only recent that I've really come to understand exactly what happened. I've lived my life. I've always been a big guy. I was about 285 pounds in the late 90s, between 285 and 300 pounds, which is big, but not as huge as I got in the end. And I'm still battling now. But I had a hernia and I needed an operation in the late 90s. I was married to my first wife. I got hurt at work. There was a workers' comp doctor, and he butchered this hernia operation. And when he butchered this hernia operation, basically what he did was he hurt me because my left leg would stay up in the air and it wouldn't go back down. He tied me so tight. And I remember him telling me that there was just not a lot of muscle there, and he really had to tie me tight. Well, I didn't realize it was going to cause me the pain that it did. Hernia operations are painful anyway, but this one was extremely painful, and a lot of blood, a lot of swelling, and he this was the beginning of my lymphedema journey. I did not realize that then, but I know it now. Lymphedema is a disease that I got, and what ended up happening was it was a problem from my waist down, where I had the operation, and it was backing up. It started where I started noticing the symptoms were my left leg swelling and getting huge, but it was backing up, and it caused me a problem. It ultimately caused me the problem that started really rearing its ugly head in my third marriage. But there were symptoms all along that I didn't understand were connected before this. Yes, I've been married 3 times. I've been divorced 3 times. Well, I'm not blaming any of the women I was married. I'm not going to get into that. But all I'm saying is I got a bum rap, and I was blamed for a lot of things that were not my fault, that suck. But it is what it is. But I ended up with a situation where my legs were swelling. And I didn't understand why. I would battle that constantly. My left leg was bigger than my right leg. And I just thought it was simple edema. And they were giving me water pills. And it wasn't making the problem go away. No matter what I did, I was constantly battling getting legs that were swelling. And I would say towards the end of my first marriage, I had some issues downstairs that were an issue, but I didn't understand what they were. I went to urologist after urologist, and they didn't understand. They would always tell me, "Well, you're just fat. That's the problem. If you lose weight, everything will go away." It's not true. It's not that I could not have sex. I did, but after that, I got divorced. Basically, I won't get into that reason, but it wasn't because of health reasons, I don't think. I think it was more because we were just young and just had issues. I have no problem with my first wife, none at all. She's living a good life. She's a good person. But here's the thing. Nobody cheated on each other either, by the way. It's just one of those things. I've never cheated on anybody. But the second marriage, I went down south and I was working down there, and I was still between 285 and 300 pounds at this point. But I started noticing more swelling in my leg. And I'm just like, this is not right. And I started noticing some issues where I was having a problem with ED. And so I go out, once again, I go to a urologist after urologist down there, and they would all tell me the same thing. You're just fat, and you need to lose weight. It wasn't true. So, but, I was still functionable. I just barely. And I didn't understand. I didn't know what the problem was. I didn't know that it was going to last forever. I didn't know that it was going to, well, not forever, but that it was going to be a huge issue in my life. I had no idea. I was just trying to get answers. And so my first wife only was married to me for about a year. We didn't sleep together. We never had sex. We tried once or twice, didn't work out, but it just didn't. One always was it because I had an ED. Just a lot of things. But the bottom line was, in her mind, I had issues, and she had lots more issues, and we won't get into that because I'm not going to slam anybody. I wish her well on whatever she's doing. But my health was one of the reasons she left, and that she, decided to go. Even though, I'm going to say this, all three of my ex-wives were heavy, but they got on me about my weight and because of this problem that I was having. Ultimately, my third wife used it as an excuse to leave me, because one of that ended up happening by the time I met my third wife and got married was it became a full-blown issue where it was hidden, buried ED. I was hidden and buried. Okay. And once again, I kept being told it's because you're fat. And if you just I had all kinds of weird remedies they were giving me, like put yogurt on it, or it's just a yeast infection, or it's this or that, and it was just all BS. They were wrong. Meanwhile, my left leg kept swelling. I mean, I remember we would go to the beach, and I'm like, why is my leg swelling so bad? And I'd have to take these water pills that were making me so dizzy, because I thought it was just simple edema, and it wasn't. And I'd put my leg up, and it would get a little bit better, but ultimately the water would fill right back up again. And it didn't seem to, if I ate a lot of salt or anything like that, it would get worse. But it never went away, no matter what I did. And I'm just like, oh man, what's going on? And I tried regular compression socks, and it would keep my leg from about my knee down, not too bad. But eventually those didn't even work. I'd blow out every compression sock I ever got. And once again, I was still being told by doctors, it's just because you're fat and you need to lose weight. Meanwhile, I was starting to get depressed pretty good. During my second marriage, I had hit 400 pounds. And during my third marriage, by the time it was done, my second marriage only lasted about a year or so. My third marriage lasted for about 6 years. And I ballooned up to around, by the time we were done, I think whenever she left me, I was 525 pounds. I was obese, don't get me wrong, and some of it was the fact that I ate too much. But what was really happening behind the scenes was this depression and dealing with this knee that was causing me so many issues, and my leg. And at the time, I didn't have a bad knee, too bad. It's just that it was hurting, and my leg was huge all the time, and I couldn't wear pants well, and I was having all kinds of issues, and I had the hidden buried issue that just would not go away. And like I said, ultimately, that is what my third wife used as an excuse to walk away from me, because she felt like I was more of a roommate than a husband. A lot of heartache. It wasn't until I moved up here and I kept doing research that I found out that there was a cure, and for the problem that I had. And it was called an escuchinectomy, and I had that surgery back in 2019, January 2019, which corrected the ED problem. And they removed a bunch of fat, and they basically used a skin graft and gave me back my manhood. That's all I'm going to go into that. But that was great, you know. Until you've had that problem, until you've lost that, you have no idea why that's a great gift to have back. Not that I became sexually active, because I have never been sexually active yet. And here we are in 2000, that surgery was 2019, and now it's 2021. But I am capable, you know. Depression was still there, and throughout my life, throughout the last 20 years, I have gained and lost weight like a yo-yo. I mean, all you gotta do is look at my Facebook. Being told that I wasn't trying by the wives that I had, or the relationships that I've been in that weren't even marriage, is bullcrap. Yes, I would have periods of time where I wasn't on a diet. I'm not perfect. I wasn't always on a diet. But there were times, a lot of times, where I was pushing. All you gotta do is look at my Facebook. You see how many times, even within the last, I would say from 2008 on, that I tried to lose weight a lot. I did it a lot. I still try. It's not easy, and battling the depression is not easy. But the lymphedema makes it even that much harder. It's 90% harder to lose weight whenever you've got a leg that just keeps filling up. I mean, I can put as much as 3 liters on this left leg, and now it's starting to move into my right leg of water. And it's not water, it's lymph fluid is what I've found out. So this is not something that's going to go away. See, lymph fluid, you can be a little bit out, but it's mainly, whenever you take that water pill, it's not really getting rid of that lymph fluid. You have to actually compress it. Okay, so no, there's no cure. It does not go away, according to the doctors. Now, there is one doctor in the Cleveland Mayo Clinic, Dr. Wee Chen, who is working on a cure, but it doesn't cure everybody, from what I understand, not yet. And it's called lymph transfer that he's working on, trying to take the lymphs that have been damaged, mine were damaged due to surgery, and replace them. And get them to function and stop the swelling. And there's cases where he's actually been able to reverse the lymphedema. It's been a cure for certain people, and for certain people. It hasn't worked for everybody. So he's still working on that. But this has been a long time of hell. You know, and lately, over the last couple of years, I ended up, about 2 years ago or so, getting messed my knee up pretty good, again, getting a torn meniscus. On top of that, I've got arthritis like an old man in my left knee. My right knee's hurting too, but not like my left knee. My left knee's really bad, and that's where I have the largest amount of lymphedema. And it's cost me another relationship, which wasn't even a marriage, you know, because she thought I wasn't trying hard enough to get well, and I was trying hard. It's just that I keep getting, it's just really difficult because, and I'm not trying to make excuses, it's a disease. It's a disease that I did not bring upon myself, bottom line. That's caused me a whole lot of heartache, cost me the ability to have kids. Yeah, I could have kids now, but I'm 50 years old. It's probably not going to happen. I have a hard enough time with this lymphedema, even dating and getting a relationship, let alone, I can't tell you how many tears I've cried. I'm surprised I'm not crying now. It hurts. But I feel like I've sought and found a little bit of validation, because it's like, okay, listen, I didn't do this to myself. I don't even know who that doctor was that did it. I'm not saying he did it on purpose. I'm not. But this is what my journey has been. Like I said, I've lost and gained weight, but see, I have a hard time. I have to walk with a cane now. I can't get my knee replaced until I lose weight. That's the rub. And like I said, whenever your legs are ballooning and going back and forth, I've had my legs wrapped at the AGH Lymphedema Center. These are great people that have done a good job, but the thing is, these compression socks, I'm blowing them right out. See, first they were being wrapped. I was getting wrapped 3 times a week, then 2 times a week, then once a week, and then once, you know, then they said, okay, we're going to put you on these compression socks that they custom fit. My legs are just blowing them right out. and I'm doing what they told. I try to do the rubbing my legs and stuff like that, and compressing my legs. Problem is the socks only go up to my knee, but my thighs are huge because they're full of the lymph fluid. See, it's not, and I can take a water pill and they'll go down a little bit, but that's just the water. It's not the lymph fluid. Okay, so the compression, it's pushing all that up towards my waist. Okay, and sometimes I think you do pee some of that out. I'm a little unclear on all that. But, and you definitely pee will, you take the edema pill, the water pill, it will take some of that out, but it's not. It makes me dizzy, first of all. It makes me really dizzy taking that water pill. And I've had leg cramps like you wouldn't believe. And I've started taking a magnesium supplement as well as the potassium supplement. And I don't know, man. It's been a real struggle. It's hurt me emotionally. I have to see a therapist. I've been seeing a therapist for several years now. It's cost me so much. I have to wear sweatpants because when I try to put jeans on, I never know if I'm going to have to try to cut them off because my leg might get really big. And I got these compression socks, like I said, and I'm going to have to go back and talk to them, but they're just going to tell me, they're going to give me a hard time again about being overweight. I'm trying. It's just not that easy. I went for a walk, and it took me forever because I'm using a cane. And you can't walk too much, you can't sit too much, If you walk too much, you make them swell more. And if you sit too much, you make them swell more. And you got to keep using the brush, and you got to keep using the roller and the compression garment and everything, and just try to keep compressing and do the best you can. But I can't tell you how hard it is because I could lose my job. I've had to take off so much work because I can barely lift my legs sometimes and get it into the car or walk. My knee just doesn't want to support my weight. Between the arthritis, like an 80-year-old man in the knee, and the lesion that I have on my condyle something or whatever in my knee, and that I fell so many times this winter. I don't even know where to begin. I've fallen and slammed that knee over and over again because I'm so unsure of it. It sucks. I'm not asking people to have pity on me. I'm just sharing my story because I know there's got to be other people out there like me. No, you're not alone. Know that God loves you, has a plan for you. I still believe He has a plan for me. Somehow I believe. I hope this Dr. Chen comes up with an answer that God's going to heal me. And if not heal me, He's going to give me the strength to get better. I would love to have a relationship. This is the thing that's cost me children. I wanted children so badly. You guys have no idea. I love kids. It's cost me my confidence. It's created so many problems where I've been in relationships, and the relationships always seem to end whenever they tell me they want me to stop doing what I was called to do, which I believe was Christian radio and TV, and make more money. So I'd go make more money, and the relationships would end anyway because of the physical problems I had. So my confidence would be ripped apart because every time I would quit doing what I thought I was called to do to make somebody else happy, and it never worked because you can't make somebody else happy. And I wasn't happy, so that wasn't working either. I didn't love myself either because I was frustrated. I didn't understand why I couldn't lose weight. What was my problem? Why can't I be healthy? I'm still trying, and I'm not going to quit. And I'm asking you, please don't quit either. I know there's got to be times, because there's been times I've thought about it. I've thought about just driving my car off a cliff or hanging myself, I've thought about any number of things. Not going to do it because I still believe God's got a calling in my life. I still believe there's something He has for me to do, and I'm not going to quit. So I'm telling you, don't quit. Don't quit. That's my journey. If you guys have any advice, I'd be love to hear it. If you have any support, I'd also love to hear that. If there's any way I can support you, I'd like to do that too. I love you all. God bless you. I'm praying for all of us lymphedema warriors. God bless y'all. Have a good night.